Hey now, Star Wars fan, Matt here. Before we get into this deep dive of the Andor premiere, spoilers. Alright, Star Wars fans, Lord Gilroy is back with another mature look at Star Wars, and oh my goodness, was this premiere something to behold. I'm not gonna lie. At first, in Episode 1, all of the various plot threads felt a little sluggish. They were boiling very, very slowly, but that's to be expected for a premiere, as it needs to set up the season-long overarching threads, in addition to providing intriguing mini-plot arcs that play out in full over this show's 3-episode blocks of succinct storytelling. Quite frankly, as a content creator and Star Wars gas bag, I was a bit concerned and overwhelmed with the prospect of covering 2.5 hours of Andor each week. But I have to say, after finally experiencing the second year of Cassian's journey to Rogue One, I fully understand why the season is being delivered as 4 films. As witnessed in this premiere, this formula allows for a very tight narrative with excellent pacing over the course of 3 full episodes that offers very intriguing, tension-filled mini-threads, which mostly resolve by the end of an arc, but also plant seeds for the season-long mega-threads like the inevitable fallout on Ghorman, or the impact of loss and tragedy on Cassian and those who are fighting the Empire. While the first episode did feel slow at times, it laid the groundwork for the white-knuckle-inducing third episode thanks to how well it staged Cassian's ordeal with the remedial rebels, the constant state of fear the Ferrix 5 face on Mina Rao, the pure, unadulterated evilness of the Empire and its followers, and of course, Mon Mothma's chaotic life of being highly involved in galactic resistance, while dealing with a family that hates her and a culture that most definitely doesn't mind what the Empire is up to, as long as they can maintain their gaiety and joy. That poor woman experiences all ranges of emotions over these 3 episodes, and Genevieve should be applauded for her abilities. Really, the whole cast is absolutely killing it so far, but Genevieve is in a league of her own thanks to having to portray a character that has to wear multiple masks thanks to her political career, her heritage, and her awful family. By the second episode, Andor S2 started to shift into full gear. I think the Mina Rao scene stood out thanks to how damn proficient they were at showcasing how the Empire just makes entire planets and their people miserable from fear, anxiety, and the constant threat of harassment. I found these moments to be fantastic examples of why the galaxy finally rebelled en masse by the time the Skywalker kids were ready to do their magic in A New Hope. They're also excellent portrayals of real-life fascism, so while some fans don't believe Star Wars was ever political, we are now witnessing the most raw form of art imitating life, and it is very well done without being in your face. I will say that Cassian, outside of that killer heist opening, is mostly muted in the premiere, but I appreciated watching him work and think as a committed rebel this time around. Seeing him shadow lead the remedial rebels was a great tease for his eventual leadership role in the Alliance. This dude is laser focused now, and is completely locked in on the mission of the rebellion, and he's already feeling more like the ice-cold assassin we first met in Rogue One. Cassian's thread was also great at showcasing just how disorganized and rudderless the rebellion still was, even at 4BBY. Maya's group was a circus at best, and one has to argue that without Luthen's work, and then Mon calling all the rebel cells together, the Empire never would have been defeated, because these cells were complete shit shows on their own and very unfocused. Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Syril, essentially stealing the show in Episode 2 with his mega brag to a new employee. This guy is hands down one of the most unique Star Wars characters ever, and I'm fully engaged in his journey now, and that amazing awkward romance that Lord Gilroy has gifted to the fandom. All of the slow boiling and tension ratcheting comes to a head in the excellent third episode of this premiere, which to me was the best overall, but by design, as it paid off on most of this mini-arc's plot points, while efficiently moving the overarching narratives along to be further expanded upon in episodes 4, 5, and 6. While Cassian's antics in episode 1 stood out, and Syril's robotic behavior shined in E2, Mon Mothma owned episode 3. You can just see the mental pain she's in constantly, but what is even more interesting is seeing her bury that pain to play her role of organizing a galactic rebellion. I could see the toll her path is taking on her. She felt vulnerable, but strong, sad, but great at feigning joy, and at times lost in it all. For the first time, I really felt the weight of what Mothma has chosen to do, and while her sacrifice may not cost her blood, it has absolutely cost her everything else in her life, be it her family, her station, or even her innocence. She's traded it all to do the right thing, and that's impressive to see play out. Again, Genevieve should win awards for this show, but Denise Go shouldn't walk away trophy-free either, because Dedra is once again a standout, and she really came to play in the third episode. Her scolding of Syril's mom and that whole space fondue dinner in general are just peak Lord Gilroy Star Wars. That whole dinner and getting a look at their lives has to be some of the most unique scenes ever written for this franchise. They should almost feel out of place, but they actually feel perfect. Dedra and Syril are hands down going to be even bigger fan favorites when this season ends, and moments like this are reasons why. I really enjoyed this arc, which makes me happy, because I thought it would be a slog to process. It's the opposite, actually. I really found myself loving what I saw and discussing it with other fans. The arc ended masterfully, and I appreciated how the upbeat music was mashed with the utter devastation our heroes were feeling. There's nothing like hearing space club music as friends deal with the death of one of their own, the betrayal of a former lover, and the sheer pain of being hated by your family and knowing that what you are involved in is now going to lead to the death of a dear childhood friend. Gilroy may not be your cup of tea, but the dude deserves to be cocky, unlike that farm boy on the Falcon. Okay, top moments time. Even though it was mostly spoiled in the trailers, I still found Cassian's TIE Adventure heist to be an excellent open and a great bunghole clenching action spot. It just looked awesome, featured incompetent Imperial soldiers and some killer piloting action. This was a fantastic way to get the party started. Up next, you have to appreciate the calculated tear planning that the Empire showcased under Krennic's leadership. Everything from watching Ghorman's hype video to casually talking about breaking their planet to steal resources just screamed pure evil. It was one of the best examples of just how terrible and inhumane those who were at the top of the Empire's power structure were. They were planning the takeover of a planet like it was a trip to the beach. So cold, but so true of those who use their power to inflict their will upon others. I'm sorry, but the next few moments are literally all Syril and or Dedra, because to me, these two stole the show thanks to getting a glimpse of their domestic lives. First, Boss Syril is truly a boss, and he brags like the best of them. Second, the reveal that Dedra and Syril are an item may be the biggest surprise of this season. I was genuinely shocked that Tony went there, but he was correct in doing so because these two together, their mental health issues aside, may be the most unique power couple in all of Star Wars. Watching Dedra try to smile while dressing, or the anxiety-ridden Syril getting ready for the arrival of his mother are scenes I never thought I'd want, but now it's what I dream for. Then the cherry on top comes in Dedra dressing down Syril's mom and making her bitch in 2 seconds flat. Every time these two were together, or on their own, they left an impact. So here's to more Dedra in the future. And to close out my top moments, I have to go with the end scenes of E3. It was beautiful chaos and sadness in motion. I love how the Neomos track and its upbeat rhythm was used over top the sheer pain and sadness that Mon, Vel, soon-to-be dead Tay, and the Ferric survivors felt. Not to mention Cassian's explosive arrival and the reveal that Brasso is the first of his longtime friends to perish. Rest in power, big guy. Your loss only helps to fuel your friend to achieve his greatest accomplishment for the rebellion in Rogue One. Okay, eggs and references time. We knew it was coming, but I have to mention it. The TIE Avenger makes its live-action debut. It first appeared in the X-Wing and TIE games from yesteryear. Speaking of TIEs, we got a Sinar mention and saw one of their test facilities on Sinar 73. This is the group that invented the TIE line of fighters. Hey, range troopers, and guess what? They can't aim either, even with bazookas. The password Cassian is given is Kefreen, which is a nod to the Rings of Kefreen, where he kills his informant to kick off Rogue One. Bix has a nightmare about Gorst from Andor Season 1, the doctor that tortured her. This is the first live-action look at Chandrila and the Mothma estate. Erskine Samaj, Mon's assistant, first appeared in Star Wars Rebels. Krennic mentioned Tarkin, Yularen, and the Emperor, so he's definitely a supreme name dropper. Krennic also showed a Ghorman hype video. EU fans know that this will eventually lead to the Ghorman Massacre, a major event for the galaxy and a turning point for Mon Mothma in the Rebel cells. Homeboy also drops a sly unlimited power line while explaining Palp's energy initiative, which is clearly a guise for the Death Star. Krennic also used the idea of sustainable energy to trick Galen Erso into coming back to work for him in the Catalyst book. Maya Pai's remedial rebels were mentioned by Saul to Luthen in Season 1 of Andor, and they are definitely not impressive. Luthen wants to know more about Steerguard's troop movements, which is where Cassian stole the Starpath unit from in Season 1. Hey, Plo Koon's mask! I know Padme's headdress was in Season 1, but I can't remember if the mask was, so here we are. In the coolest reveal of the premiere, it was shown that Cassian was on Yavin 4 the whole time, and we even got a shot of the Red Moon and the Massassi temples. This little girl is playing with a bowcaster, just like Big Dog Chewie. And this one has an @ST Chicken Walker marionette. Traitor! Davos drops another Rakuten Empire mention, and it's very curious that Luthen was the one who had the Shandy Merel, considering he too mentioned the Rakutens in Season 1. Quite curious, right, Kenobi? And my personal favorite, the team brought back the Neomos track for Lyda's wedding, and it absolutely slayed. Just ask Rave Mothma. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Please like the video and consider subbing to the channel. Leave a comment, share with a friend, and if you want to go next level with the SWTS, hit that join button below to become a member. There's always time for Star Wars time, and if you listen to the show, the Force will be with you. Always.